Hey, I'm Ralph Lafredo, and welcome to this episode of 5 Minutes to More. Let me ask you a question. How would you like to be able to build better rapport with almost anyone you ever meet? We all do, right? After all, building rapport leads to less resistance to your ideas, to your products, to your services, or whatever. It may also help you in whatever it is that you want to get another person to do either for you or to believe in or to support or to invest in or whatever. Now, there's actually 3 different ways to build better rapport. In this video, we're going to cover the first 2 ways. Numbers 2 and number 3, they're covered in part 2 of this video series. So let's get right into it. This first way, it's called match and mirror. Match and mirror. Matching and mirroring, or being like the other person, is so easy to do, yet so very few people do it. And it works like magic. It's amazing. For example, when talking to somebody, simply learn to adapt to the other person. I mean, to talk their pace, to use their words, to use their accent, to use their rate of speech, to use their volume, use their tonality, and so forth. For example, do they speak quickly like some Philadelphia lawyer? Or do they speak so slowly where you practically have to wring their arm to make them speed up? Like they have no rush to get anywhere in the world. Whatever it is, pay attention to the pace they speak and adapt to it. The next thing is to use their words. See, everyone has their own words. Pay attention to the words they use and feed it back to them. Even if they're words you wouldn't normally use in your own vocabulary. Let me give you an example. When they refer to the last meal of the day, do they refer to it as dinner or supper? Do they refer to a certain soft drink as soda or pop? Do they refer to a sandwich as a sub or a hoagie or a hero or a grinder or something else? Next, how do they pronounce their words? For example, the word Caribbean can be pronounced 2 different ways, Caribbean or Caribbean. They're both correct. Same way for the pronunciation of the state Missouri. Now, some people pronounce it Missouri like me, and some people say Missouri. These are just a few examples. I'm sure you can think of many more. So pay attention to the words the other person is using and simply feed them back to them in your conversation, and you're gonna score points. See, winning rapport is all about scoring points. On the other hand, if you don't recognize the words or the pronunciation that the other person is using, and you continue to use your words and your pronunciation, the other person's not gonna like you as much, because to them, you're very different from them. Also, if the other person you're talking to is using a very simple vocabulary and very simple words, and you're using a more advanced vocabulary, if you want to score points, recognize this and adjust your vocabulary to be more like theirs. For example, if someone comes out or up to you and says, "Wow, man, that's a radically cool idea," and you respond, "Yes, it's an extremely exquisite concept, wouldn't you agree?" You'd totally alienate them, and you'd make them think that you're very different from them. Now, when it comes to matching and mirroring, I'm not saying to mock the other person, but then again, if you want to score points, you may even want to adjust your accent to that of the other person. For example, do they speak with somewhat of a southern drawl, like a good old boy, or with more of a New York City type accent? Do they pronounce words with more of a Boston or New England accent, like when they go to park the car? Whatever it is, pick up on how they talk and adapt your speech to the other person whenever possible. Again, when doing so correctly, they're not going to know what's happening or what you're doing, but they're going to begin to like you. See, another important thing about matching and mirroring is to duplicate the other person's body position. For example, do they have their arms crossed or folded or down at their sides, or are they leaning up against a wall? Or are they standing with their hands in their pockets or maybe behind them? Whatever it is, duplicate their gestures. Do they use their hands a lot when they talk, like this? Do they pat you on the shoulder? Again, do whatever it is they do. Show them that you're just like them with the same desires and concerns that they have, and you'll be building rapport. Another thing, for example, how often do they look you right in the eye? Do they maintain lengthy eye contact, or do they look away? Whatever it is, pick up on it and do what they do. You see, matching and mirroring is based on the fact that we all communicate on 3 different levels. 1 is through the words that we use. 2 is through the tone that we use when delivering those words. And 3 is through the way we use our body, called body language. Another point about matching and mirroring, remember when I said to duplicate the words the other person uses? You also want to duplicate the volume and use the speed, pay attention to the speed that they're using, the speed that they're delivering their sentences. For example, does the other person speak fast or slow or very slow? Again, if you want to build better rapport, you want to speak at their same rate, you want to use their words, you want to use their volume. Okay, that's it for the first way to build instant rapport with almost anyone. It's called matching and mirroring. When you match and mirror, you will build rapport, and this will lead you to greater success in whatever your desired goal. So go out, test these things with your friends and your family and your social contacts or people at work, and watch the results. See, matching and mirroring is not theory or guesswork. It works like magic, as incredible as it may sound. And when you build better rapport, you're preparing yourself for greater success, power, and leadership. Again, the other 2 ways about building rapport are going to be covered on part 2 of this video on how to build rapport. By the way, before we end, can you do me a favor? Can you hit the subscribe button and the like button? And then in the future, if a topic comes up, if it's of interest to you, click on it, watch it, and put the things to use. Oh, and by the way, one last thing. If you don't want to wait around for these future episodes and you want to start taking much greater action to get better results right away, pretty much everything in these 2 episodes, they're in one of my 2 books. You see them both here. You see them up above. In fact, in this green one, if you can see that it's written kind of an outline format. So it's very, very easy to use to find a topic. You simply go to the table of contents, look up whatever it is that you want to find, and put it to use and get it into action right away. So when you're presented with a situation or something comes up and you want to win in that situation, just look up a particular topic, get refreshed on what you need to do or say, and let it work like magic. These books, they're available on Amazon.com. Just search Ralph Loffredo. That's RALPHLOFFREDO. Okay, that's it for now. Remember, please do me that favor. Hit the subscribe and the like buttons. That's it. Take care.